A Cape Town charity called Ladles of Love is attempting to break a world record at the V&A Waterfront. They're looking to create a 6.7-kilometer line of food cans. These cans will go on to make about 180,000 meals, we understand, for residents of the Cape Peninsula. They are going to need how much? 90,000 cans to do this, and they've mapped out a route in the waterfront precinct and have hundreds of volunteers coming down to help them to achieve this feat. Let's get the latest. Bring in SABC News reporter Vanessa Poonah. She's live for us there. Vanessa, tell us more about this.
Blaine, yes, good morning to you. First things first, I think Cape Townians will be very glad of the milder weather conditions that we are experiencing here in the mother city, especially at the V&A Waterfront today. We've had a few days of extremely cold weather and rain, hail and snow on our mountains, so it's a very good day for this world record attempt. Let me tell you, you talked about the route marked out along the V&A Waterfront, and I'm not quite sure whether I can ask my colleague Mark Muhlenberg just to show you. We're standing at Nobel Square at the moment here at the waterfront, and this of course is where the hive of activity is taking place. On the ground there you'll see, Blaine, carefully marked out map or route, 6.7 kilometers of these tin cans that have been donated. There are huge sponsors, but also people on the ground coming through and donating to Ladles of Love. Of course, this event, Blaine, should have taken place on the 18th of July in commemoration of Nelson Mandela Day. Of course, this year this could not happen due to lockdown restrictions, and the 6.7 kilometers then would resonate with the 67 minutes for Madiba. Of course, right now I can tell you, and I'll just come into shot again, that it looks as though the Ladles of Love charity organization indeed will be reaching their milestone very shortly. Joining me is the founder, Danny Diliberto. Danny, you are very excited today. Besides the fact of actually clinching this world record, there is a more serious underlying tone as to what exactly your organization does in the face of COVID-19, in the face of some of the highest unemployment that we've seen to date in South Africa, feeding the hungry. Talk to us about what your organization does.
Yes, well, we started off feeding the homeless people in the city of Cape Town, and then when COVID hit our shores, I just knew that I had to get food out to more than just the homeless people, and so I embarked on that journey. I was already working with other soup kitchens in the communities, so it was just a matter of spreading the word and the guys coming on board that had soup kitchens that could collect food from us, that we've been able to distribute tons and tons of food, but the need is huge.
You say that you've distributed tons and tons of food. As I understand it, since lockdown started, you've donated something like 19 million meals. Am I correct?
We passed 20 million meals this week. 20 million meals, and we've distributed almost, I'd say, I haven't checked, but it was around 2,700 tons of food and over 4.7 million sandwiches that we've distributed.
So this campaign today, first and foremostly, it looks as though it's almost a done deal, or is that speaking a bit too soon? But then, of course, the food that has been collected here today, talk to us about where this will be going to and how it will be distributed.
So all this food will then, once we've officially audited it, it will all be packed, and then we will then send it back to our Grand West warehouse, and from there we will then distribute it to our 250 plus soup kitchens that we work with, and they'll use these cans to add into the food that they cook, and that will then be served to the people that queue up in their lines.
We're located at the moment at a very well-heeled establishment. I mean, the V&A Waterfront is the sort of tourism mecca of Cape Town. But of course, the communities that you serve would be mostly in the outlying areas, in the poverty-stricken areas, the townships, the informal settlements. Not that poverty or hunger is, or that hunger is just confined to those. So I suppose it takes quite a bit of collaboration then with various other organizations to get the help and the food aid to those who need it most.
Yes, well, for us, it's been the people out there, the individuals, the companies, the foundations, the grants that we've received from the city and from provincial government. All that together has allowed us to be able to send out this food. And then, of course, it's all the mothers out there, the mamas. I like to call them mama warriors, that are out there waking up every day and cooking the food, and they then distribute it out to the community that need it. They serve it as a hot, nutritious meal. So that is the collaboration. It's one huge act of kindness.
So at this point, Danny, it looks as though the square over here is starting to fill up quite nicely with these tin cans. By what time do you think you'll reach your target, or have you already, so to speak, clinched it?
You know, I'd say we've clinched it, but we've still got to do the official audit for Guinness World Record. They have a very stringent report that they need, and we need to literally film the entire line. We need to count the cans. Once that's done, we've officially, and they approve it, we've got the Guinness World Record. But for sure, the Guinness World Record currently is just under 45,000 cans. We've got close on 90,000 cans. So officially, we've got a world record.
When will we know for sure? When can we actually start celebrating, knowing that we've done it?
We know we've clinched the world records. We can say that. So I'm really excited about that. But we just need to make sure that we meet Guinness, and that's the prayer, that we meet their criteria, and then we can say we've got the Guinness World Record as well.
Danny, thank you so much for your time. Of course, Danny Diliberto there, the founder of the Ladles of Love charity, Blaine, which tells us that they've already, since lockdown started last year, fed something like 20 or provided 20 million meals to those in need. And while today's event certainly is something fun and something getting people involved in, of course, the underlying message is the fact that this organization, along with a host of others, are attempting to ensure food security for the most vulnerable, not just here in Cape Town, but across the province and country.
Yeah, look, it's an important initiative, isn't it, in terms of food security? They call Ladles of Love, but you get a feeling that this is a labor of love as well. They love what they're doing in order to help their fellow man, in order to get South Africa to a better place. Vanessa Poonah, we thank you as always.